Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Coin Gamma Show. Today we have an illustrious guest with us. We have Fabio Canesin, the co-founder of Nash, which is a revolutionary decentralized exchange aimed at making blockchain technology accessible to the wide public. This is not Fabio's first endeavor in the blockchain community. He's well known in the scene as one of the founders of the City of Zion open source community, which brought the Nash co-founders together. So, Fabio, welcome to the podcast. Thanks for appearing on. Tell us a little bit about your background. What were you doing before you got into blockchain, and how did you discover it?
Right. It's a long history, so I'll try to summarize.
Sure.
So it is very early on blockchain history, really, because I was not doing blockchain per se. My background is in engineering. Okay. So I was doing CFD, which is computational fluid dynamics. And there was this emerging scene about the GPU, so processing in GPUs, doing like computations on graphic cards, right?
Sure.
And there was really very early solutions, some called Brook Plus, and then NVIDIA started their CUDA initiative. But Apple launched its own initiative that Apple got away, but it continues to exist, which is called OpenCL.
Okay.
And I really wanted to learn OpenCL. And the first softwares that were using GPU was Bitcoin mining.
All right.
Yeah, this is like 2010, 2009. It's really early.
Yeah. So you were super early.
Yes, but I was not doing blockchain. I was just learning GPU. You understand? But yeah, then life goes on. I continued engineering, so I was working as a research engineer. I worked for 6 years. Moved from Brazil to US. Okay. So 2006.
Where in Brazil are you from?
I'm from the countryside of São Paulo.
Okay.
But I used to live in Florianópolis.
Okay.
Which was where I studied. I also work in Rio. I actually move a lot, so
sure. That's how most people in blockchain community work. They kind of just work. As long as you have strong Wi-Fi, you could be anywhere.
Yeah. And then I moved to US. I was living in Cambridge, it's near Boston.
Okay.
And I saw, I already knew about blockchain, and I saw that this thing exploded, and
right.
I wanted to be part of it in a deeper level. So I was already working as a research engineer with software. So lots of high performance computing, and so knew a lot of networking and all the inner workings of those pieces. And I had a friend from university that we had one startup before, actually a couple of startups before, and we wanted to do something related to blockchain.
Sure.
So I could not acquire crypto in US or even Brazil for that matter. So the reason was mainly because of KYC. It was really hard.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, because I was a Brazilian living in Cambridge. So I would do this exchange KYC process where it asks like, hey, what is the street that crosses this other street? I had no idea.
Right.
And I would try to look on Google Maps at the same time to try to answer it, and it was a pain in the ass.
That's terrible.
And if people from Cambridge is watching this, if you go around in Cambridge, almost everyone is from outside, right? So you have big schools there, and they receive a lot of international people.
Of course.
So talking to my research friends there, and they also had the same problem.
Sure.
So there's a good market here on the user experience on this regulation side, right? So really complying with some set of rules. So it's not because I'm Brazilian and I am US that I cannot buy. Like if the requirements in Brazil are the same and I comply with those, then I should be able to do it wherever I am. And based on that, we started to think on this platform for exchanges. So it was since the beginning this idea of platform.
Sure.
We really believe in platforms. And me and Luciano started to look at the options to implement it because we wanted to have the verification part on blockchain. And they only change that implementing smart
The verification of the transaction or verification of the users?
the users itself, right?
Okay.
So the compliance of the users, we wanted to have that on the blockchain.
Okay.
Because as a platform, what we envisioned was that other exchanges would use this system. So it needed to be like in a neutral ground, which is the
Sure.
blockchain.
Sure.
And then we look at what blockchains have to.
Is this any way similar to Civic at all? Kind of putting identity on the blockchain?
Yeah, but was very focused on exchanges.
Okay.
Yeah. So we look at it, and there's only we could do our own chain, more or less like Civic does, like on top of Bitcoin and so on. But we could also use smart contracts, and decide to use smart contracts. We don't actually want to build our own chain at the time.
Of course.
So we look at there's Ethereum, but Ethereum is like a proof of concept on that moment, especially with all the proof of work and so on. And then we had Neo, and we look at Neo and see that there was like good reasoning for the BFTs that they choose, and we decided then to build on top of Neo. But Neo is much smaller community than Ethereum at the time, so there was a tooling lacking. There was no libraries to write to.
Neo was pretty big in Asia, right?
I think at the time it was not big anywhere.
Okay.
It was better known in Asia, but it was not big really.
Okay.
And we just started building it, and this group of developers, like as we start, a lot of people get together, and we call this group Seed of Zion, and we end up building we built the Neon wallet, we built Neo Scan, which is the main explorer people uses. We built the JavaScript library, Neon.js, that people use to build apps on Neo.
Wow.
We built compilers for Go and JavaScript library to the intermediate library. We built a full node on Python. So this community built a lot of stuff.
Yeah. So I guess that's one of the attractions with Neo from the beginning, right? Because I think Ethereum, to use it, you had to know Solidity, but Neo, you were able to use existing languages. So you said you built something with JavaScript, you built something with Python, and so
we are the ones that actually build those compilers. So.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like you couldn't write anything, but after we did that, you can now use Python, Go, C# and so on. Yeah.
Wow.
Neo main focus C#. So we built a lot.
So Neo owes a lot to you.
Yeah, I think they invested in Nash also, so I think it's fair now.
Okay, that's fair.
They are a big investor in our project. So we did that, and after a little bit more than 1 year, say, yeah, I think we are now on this stage that we can start our company. And as you keep working, you change your ideas, right? So I went to Shanghai, and I was in lunch with Hongfei and Eric, and talking about my project, my exchange project with Hongfei. And he says that he likes it, but he wanted it to be like, he thinks that decentralized exchanges would be better than, because this project that I had was more focused on centralized exchanges, just decentralizing the identity part. And I go back to my team, which now has grown from just me and Luciano to be me, Luciano, Ethan, and Fabio. And ask them what they think of doing a decentralized version, so including the matching engine and so on. So actually building an exchange, not only the platform, right? Exchange. We agree. We think about we start designing an idea of the technology. And the following day, or in a dinner, I together with Hongfei and Eric, I agree. I say no, so let's do this. At the time, Neo had this roadmap, and on the roadmap there was like a decentralized exchange. We say, okay, so we will build it, but we will not be like a DEX like there is now, and this is like a 2017. It will be a platform as we are thinking. So it was a middle ground, right? So we both go to a middle ground. And that's why there are advisors on the project. They contributed a lot on this beginning on shaping which direction we would go from the company.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's where Nash comes. So a few months later, we officially incorporate the project.
Okay.
And on this meantime, from incorporation to this talk, Thomas Sanders enters as a founder also, so we become 5 founders. And from that history, like people, we go in the project. And the thing is, as we had all this idea of compliance since the beginning, we really carried this through the company. So when we were in 2017 now, thinking about the economics of our product, we really wanted to give the most value possible to the investors, right?
Okay.
And we always keep coming with some fee distribution, some revenue distribution for the company, right? And that would classify us as a security. And this is even before there was like how this discussion. And we decided, okay, so let's issue a security, right?
A security token.
Yeah, a security token. But we were thinking like a investment vehicle. So we even didn't call STO. There was no STO at the time.
This was too early.
Yeah, so we called ICO, but it is a security. So our investors know that our token is a security, but it was called ICO at the time because there was no STO.
And what's your token called?
It's Nashs, NEX.
Okay.
Yeah, because at the time our exchange was called Neon Exchange, and we used to use the brand Nashs, but there's a company, a UK company that was acquired by CME Group, that they had the rights for the Nashs brand.
Sure.
And they gave us a cease and desist.
Yeah, so they changed. That makes sense.
Yeah, and you don't want to fight with CME Group. It's a big company for just a name. So
sure.
we rebranded to Nash, and we are quite happy with the new brand.
So all right. I could see how you created Nash, and I definitely understand how you created a security token in order for you to derive value for your investors. But what is Nash? What can you do with it? Is it a decentralized exchange? What how does it work? And what's the why would I use your platform versus some other platform?
Right. So very short summary, Nash is a company, is a fintech company, and we see blockchain as the infrastructure. So our goal as the company is to bring decentralized finance to everyone. And we believe that digital assets in the future, and I'm talking here 5, 10, 15 years, will be running on blockchains, right? So your digital cash, your digital securities, your digital utilities will be running on blockchain. That's our technological premise on the company.
Right.
And what we are building is tools, financial tools for these digital assets. So our first products are 2, a fund management platform, which for people in blockchain would be like a wallet for any number of networks.
Okay.
And for people more familiar with finance, is like a fund management portal of your broker.
Okay.
And an exchange which connects to this funds management. So you have the funds there. Now you need to do something about them, right? So I exchange to trade those.
Okay.
Since at the core of our bet is the blockchain technology, so we really try to preserve all the capabilities of blockchain. And we see that the main capability of blockchain is self-custody, right? So Satoshi created Bitcoin because it's sovereign money. You have your own money, right? And that's why we are fully non-custodial. So people call us DEX, right? Decentralized exchange, because we have no custody of the assets. So we went to the goal of building out this trading protocol and now this funds management protocol that has no custody, not because we are driving a DEX or building a DEX, but because we wanted to allow people trading and we wanted to preserve the properties of the assets.
Got it.
Because what happens a lot today in exchanges is that you transfer your asset to this exchange, but inside the exchange, your representation, you don't have the real asset anymore.
Right.
So you have a number in a database. So the properties of the asset were loose on this process of deposit and withdrawing.
That's why people say not your keys, not your crypto.
Yeah, but it's not only the keys itself. It's really the control, the crypto, to be trading crypto, not numbers in a database.
Right.
Yeah,
Right. And so basically, your platform allows me to have my own wallet, my own custody, and I could trade from it.
yeah, exactly.
Wow. Because I think that's one of the biggest things. Like, for instance, I have crypto on Binance, and I should have it on my own wallet, but then I don't want to. I don't want to miss a market opportunity to sell
Yeah.
or trade, right? And so it sounds like your platform allows you to do both at once.
And you have the problem that if you diversify in more than one and two assets, then you have 10 or 20 assets. Are you going to run 10, 20 individual chains or nodes and sync all those? So
Right.
it's really complex process, right? So
Sure.
that's why you have the funds management itself as a single product. And we envision this as a single product. And then we have the exchange in itself as another product and connect the two.
Okay.
So that's the core, like we call this MVP, right? So this is the initial products. But after we have those, like we want to leverage these technologies to build other products on top of it. So
Right.
the first one, and this is coming quite close to the exchange, is a system for fiat on and off ramps. So how do we still preserve the same profits on a fiat and on and off ramps? So the approach we took is that actually we are providing a marketplace. So you enter there, we detect where you are, and so these are all the fiat providers that we have on your
Sure.
wheel. So you select one and you buy and sell to those. But when you sell, you send from your wallet, and when you buy, the wallet that is attached to the receiving address is not a wallet control inside that fiat provider. It's your
Okay.
wallet on the funds management system.
Wow.
Yeah. So basically, when you buy today in a fiat provider, it stays inside the fiat provider, right? I'm gonna give you an example. You buy in Coinbase, it stays on Coinbase. So the difference here is that when you buy, it will go to your own wallet, right?
Wow. Wow. That's incredible. That's so important right now. Because now a lot there are things. There are unfortunate stories like Quadriga, things of that sort, where exchanges may not be doing the right thing as far as custodying their clients' wallets,
Yep.
or their tokens and their crypto. Awesome, and you're like you said, your platform is built on top of the Neo blockchain.
Not really.
Okay,
So we have all this history. So Neo is quite important for us because it's where we come from, the funding, and so on. But the platform is agnostic. It's really any blockchain. So we launched with both Ethereum and Neo at exactly the same stage. So trading, cross-chain trading, and assets on the exchange and on the wallets. But we want to add any number of chains, right? So after those two, because they are the most developed platforms right now, but after those two, we are going to aim a lot more for Bitcoin because it's a liquidity driver for the market.
of course.
So exchanges struggle with liquidity, right? So we want to add liquidity sources, and that's why we need to add Bitcoin as soon as possible. And after that, we'll continue to add new chains. So this is not really based on Neo, but it's every chain is at the same level. So what we believe is that the price and the market should reflect the development of those networks, right? So our interface should not feel any different for any one of those. Only the price they see on the exchange should be different.
I understand. That's incredible. One of the criticisms around decentralized exchanges is that they're slow. They don't have liquidity.
Yeah.
So why is it possible to combine the security benefits of having your own crypto, but you apparently your platform also would have the speed and functionality of a centralized exchange. How, how,
Right.
how are you able to do that? How does that work?
Right. So I think there's a different concept on our project, which is we are not a company like Nash is not a protocol. Nash is not a DEX. Nash is this company building these tools, right? So when we approach it with this mindset, we gave ourselves the freedom to not think on a single protocol or thinking in a single product, So we end up having different protocols for holding your assets, different protocol for trading assets, and another protocol for interacting between the two.
Okay.
So when we had this tree, it actually freed a lot more the design space for the DEX for us. So we end up having a system which is based on state channels.
Okay.
And with that, the trades are detached from transactions on the blockchain. So you can do many trades on very few transactions on the blockchain using the same technology as state channel, right? So you have this channel that you open when you put an order, and the channel that you close when you withdraw assets.
Right.
Right. So using that, we can be really fast, and the user experience, and that's the approach that we took is that we first set the user experience that we want to have, then we design the protocols.
Okay.
And so we actually iterate many different protocols until we reach this user experience. So the user experience that you have is exactly the same as a normal traditional broker today. So if you enter in Merrill Lynch or I don't know, or any broker that you use, you have your trading account,
Right.
then you have your account, right? Your friend's account and your trading account. So you transfer to your trading account, you do your trading on the securities that you filled in. Then when you are happy, you take out of the trading account back to your main account.
Right.
That's exactly the same experience that you have. But on Nash, when you are doing that, you are not actually moving accounts. You are opening and closing state channels, but the user experience is exactly the same.
Wow, that's incredible. Awesome. Obviously, right now it seems like DeFi and decentralized finance is pretty cool now. There's so many different projects out there. Obviously, your project is one. There's other ones like Uniswap, MakerDAO, things of that sort. I guess, what are your thoughts around the whole space? What do you think about those projects and how your project is different? Or can your project work? Is it interoperable at all?
Oh yeah, I think so. I think there will be many players in this space and filling different spaces in the industry, right? So finance is huge. For example, we are right now not focusing on lending or any kind of debt management, and I'm sure that there will be projects doing protocols exactly for that.
Sure.
We are not issuing a stable coin.
Right.
So there are projects doing stable coins, and we will use these tools inside our system.
Right.
So we are for sure compatible with a lot of these projects on this space. But I see that the space has two different groups. One that's very pragmatic, and another one that is maybe too idealist.
Right.
Yeah. We for sure are together with the pragmatics. We think that we can make small compromises to actually implement the systems. So we do need to deliver a performance system. We do need to deliver a good user experience, even though we would want imagine that world where everything can be anonymous and private and so on. So to actually run our business, we do need to do KYC. We will need to follow AML. We are a business, right? So we cannot not know the origin of funds that come through the company.
Right.
So we are on the pragmatic side, but we for sure will work with all these other projects in the industry. And the nice thing about DeFi is that you don't need to actually get permission to anyone, right? So we can just list DAI on our exchange if we want, and then we are working with the product from Maker, and we don't even need to talk about it.
Right. No, that's the way it should work. Excellent. Yeah. I think your project or your token, it could be staked, right? How does that work?
Right. So since we are security,
hold on 1 second. Sorry, before I get you into that. For people that don't know what staking is, how would you explain staking to somebody that's new to the concept? And then you could tell us how your platform works.
Right. So I would explain staking as a claim.
Okay.
So you have your tokens, and you need to claim something, some right on those. So you would lock your tokens or deliver it to someone to hold it, so that you can make your claim. So you are using the tools to your claim. So it's like presenting an ID, right? You have an ID. people say, hey, who you are? I say, I'm Fritz. So, okay, show me your ID. Then
Sure.
you're taking your ID to claim that you're Fritz.
Right.
Right? So that's exactly what we do with Nash tokens. So we are security and we pay dividends, but we cannot go like crazy and paying dividends randomly on the internet.
Right.
Maybe could be someone who should not have the token that somehow got the token, right?
Of course.
So we have a staking process where you enter in the platform and you lock your funds for from 1 month to 2 years. You choose how many. So when you lock these tokens, you need to do a KYC.
Okay.
So that we know that you can receive dividends,
Right.
and then we will pay dividends for people who lock their tokens on the system, so that claim their dividends, right?
Right.
So that's why we have a staking process. Is how we pay dividends back to the holders.
Awesome. Pretty interesting. Also, I just want to pivot a bit. So, you're like you mentioned, you're from Brazil, and there are a lot of talk around crypto in Latin America right now. But most people are focused on places like Venezuela and Argentina, places that have experienced hyperinflation. Obviously, but Brazil is the largest country in Latin America and a huge player in the region. So, what's the crypto and blockchain scene in Brazil? What are some cool things that are going on? How does it compare to its neighbors?
Right. So I think that Brazil has also experienced hyperinflation.
Yes.
So if people look in the 80s, and I was alive in the 80s,
right,
that's like 100% or 200% a month.
Wow.
Yeah, and even a couple years ago was like 20% on the year.
Wow.
So it's not what Europeans and Americans think of inflation. You can feel it. You can certainly feel it. Another thing is that Brazil has this major problem, and that's maybe why I think so much about AML laws, right?
Right.
Brazil has a major problem with corruption.
Sure.
So there's a lot of talks on, and the major tools that the best judges in the country and the best work that is being done in the country to combat these kind of things are using is anti-money laundering laws. Right. So that's how they are combating corruption, and so there's a huge effort going on in Brazil, and I will here talk about one, for example. So the BNDES, Brazilian Development National Bank, which is a $1 trillion organization.
Sure.
They just did less than 1 month ago, maybe 1 month ago, a public call for demonstrations of blockchain-based issuing of Brazilian reais, so that they could track the use of the loans that they give. Yeah, and this is like huge. It's like billions of dollars of Brazilian reais being tracked on the blockchain. So there's certainly this.
Incredible.
There's certainly this vertent of work that is being done there that maybe is below the radar of many people.
Right.
And I know a group who did a demonstration on NEO, and I think they chose Ethereum at the end, but they saw different blockchain solutions, and they are aware of all this.
Incredible. That's pretty cool. Obviously, you're a very busy man. You have a huge project to kind of keep growing, so don't want to keep you too long. But congratulations on such a cool project. I look forward to trying it. If our listeners wanted to follow up with you and follow up with the project, where should they go?
Oh, they go to Nash.io to learn about it. And if you have at least one Nash token, you can join us on community.nash.io.
Okay.
I spend every day a few minutes there, and our team also spends time there. So it's like a place where you can talk to the team, really.
Awesome. Well, I'll link to that in the show notes. And we thank you for your time today.
Thank you, Chris. Have a nice day.